Alright, after a noticeable amount of filing, we've gotten the channels dug. I really hate this light because when I'm recording it makes it look like everything's too bright. Anyway, the channels are dug. Now all we need to do is get 2 sections of popsicle sticks about that long. Actually, 2 of them. After you have your channels cut, you need to just kind of work your way down so it doesn't, because right now it sticks up a bit. Right there. I'm just cutting down a bit. If you cut off too much, it's not the end of the world, but it might make a little divot that would scrape up your rubber bands when they go over the crossbow. So just carefully cutting down. That one looks like it'll fit. Now super gluing it in place. Just glue in the little channels, maybe a dot in the middle, and push it back down. Making sure it is level though, because I guess at the end of the day it's not that important that it's level, but I don't know, it just helps. Now cutting down this little one, same way we did the first. Might have messed it up. Oh no, it works pretty good. So, getting right there, and right here. Now that these little plastic plugs are in, they're not plastic, what am I saying? Now that these little dividers are in, after it dries, what we're going to do is file down right here, right down the middle. This just makes it so the crossbow bolts that are made out of these same popsicle sticks won't fall to the side when they're sitting in there. And while we're waiting for this, it would be a good time to add this part on. And what this part does is it's just a very loose rubber band super glued right here, and when we have the crossbow bolts, it will hold them in place, kind of. You don't want to make it so it is extremely tight or has any more than just a little bit of tension on it, because it might affect the trajectory of your bolts. And what it does is make sure that once the bolts are in, they don't fall out. So, placing some super glue right here. Holding the rubber band down on it. Getting glue on my finger. Alright, that will do it. Except it's glued to my finger again. And just cut off the extra, like that. And I think these are dried in place now. Yep, nice and dry. Now, make sure this part doesn't get filed just by placing it down and around right there. And you don't have to put that in now, I just did it as a filler for something to do while the glue was drying. Uh-oh. There's a bit of a gap in between this one. So, to get around that, just make a little wooden separator or a wooden peg. Lightly dab super glue over it. Put your peg in. And I'll need to make one for the other side too. So just shearing off the wood at an angle. And I may need to do it on the other one as well. I didn't think about that until just now. Alrighty. Shearing off again at the angle. Actually, that one wasn't steep enough. There we go. Right there. Alright. And this side doesn't need one. So now waiting for the pegs to dry. After they're dry, we're just going to cut them off and file down the stumps. And I will see you when we're ready. Alright, now that the glue for the little pegs are dry, instead of just cutting them off, we can press them down to the side and just bend them off. Alright, and maybe just go over it with the file. Just to make it nice and flat. Now, doing the same thing you did right here and right here to make a channel, just do it right here, making sure it lines up or goes straight down, not so it's to the side at all, like that or like that, just right there in the middle. And if you're using something other than super glue that isn't completely dry, you might want to hold off on this for a while or be a lot gentler with it. It's going to take longer, but at least it isn't broke. So I'm going to come back when the channel is done. Alright, now that the channel inside is done, a popsicle stick can slide down the very middle of it, and with our little rubber band right here, oh god, I just ripped it off. Whoops. Well, as you use a crossbow, there's going to be wear and tear. Oh damn, I just knocked the camera. Oh god. Alright. As you use your crossbow, there's going to be wear and tear on this little rubber band, and you are going to have to replace it. So, for replacing it, the wear and tear is being simulated by my lumbering hands. You just roll the rubber band off. You can get it off easily after it's been super glued by just pushing on it really hard with something sturdy. And just pluck it off. Right. And file it down to get the super glue off it. Not very much though, just a little bit. Alright, and just same as last time, taking a rubber band, glue right here. And also what I'm going to do differently is I'm not going to put nearly as much tension on it as last time because that looked a little problematic for the future. So just laying it across. Right there. Right here. Alright. And I'm glued to it once again. Let it go. Yeah. Alright, now letting it dry and cutting off the excess. No. Victory. Alright, let's see, where are we going from here? I'm just looking back to my first model for a reference to go on. Looks like we're going to need to file a channel right here. This will be going through both popsicle sticks in this way, and this channel actually needs to be a little bit wider than the last two. So, and what this does is make room for the trigger we're going to put in. So after I make a channel there, I will come back. Alright, as you can see, the channel is now partially done. This is where the bobby pin comes in, because this is what we're going to be using as our trigger. It's going to come up right here in this sort of manner, and well, you get the idea. So what we will be doing now is we're going to flatten out this end and bend it back. You might want to get a couple of bobby pins for this, because this is easy to mess up. Alright, so it looks like that. This one, just going to flatten out lightly, and or not really flatten out, but you're going to bend it backwards at a right angle, so it looks like this. And this will be the trigger. Now, as a reference to the one I've built prior, this is how. Alright, so it's going to fit in like this, and let's see, we will be using our, wait a minute, let's see, now we're going to need a little, sorry, right now I'm just thinking, we need a small popsicle stick shard. Coming down right here. So, gluing off, or not gluing off, cut one off, put glue on it, and right here. And be sure not to do what I just did, which was make it so a little part sticks up right here, because now I'm going to have to file that down so it doesn't obstruct the path of the rubber band, because the rubber bands on these things are really temperamental, and that if they don't fly just right, it won't shoot the crossbow bolt effectively. So the slightest little abnormality along the ridge can bugger it up. But now that that's in, remembering our little bitty pin, we're going to tap it through right here.